So the first question is, what is brand positioning? So brand positioning is essentially a brand offer in the minds of our target market that is distinct and desirable. So basically, pag naisip tayo ng consumers natin, alam nila kung what our brands can specifically do for them. Na one, very unique. Hindi siya kayang gawin ng other competitors. And number two, it has to be desirable. Of course, dapat positive siya so that people would want to associate with our brands. So whatever positioning you choose, it will be achieved by a combination of factors. So nandito na yung product features, advertising communication, pricing, distribution. So basically kung saan tayo magiging present, and even packaging kasama dyan. So there's a lot of things that we have to control to be able to communicate a very focused brand positioning. Why is brand positioning very important? If we are very proactive in positioning our brand, it can actually positively influence how our customers see us. For example, today, more than ever, we know that consumers are bombarded with so much advertising messages. And if it's not relevant to them, they will just block it out. So if your brand is seen as something that is unique, and it's credible, and it's of course desirable, then people would want to associate it. We are also able to simplify their purchase decisions. Kasi in the future, when they want to buy a certain product or a service, and our brand comes top of mind to them, and they trust it, and they know that it's the only brand that can deliver the kind of service or product that they need, then hindi na nila kailangan mag-search all over again for another alternative. Internally, brand positioning is also very, very important because it helps with making key decisions when we do our marketing strategies, when we have to decide on very, very important things like how to win versus competitors in terms of pricing, in terms of where to sell our products. Kasi a lot of times, there are a lot of things we can do na nice to do, but actually, not everything would be aligned to the positioning that we've decided on. So, a good brand positioning will really clarify where you will say yes to and those are things that you will say no to. For example, when it comes to pricing, of course, maganda na nagde-discount tayo significantly or mura tayo versus competitors. But if the positioning we choose is premium, then of course, we have to say no to a very cheap pricing because it's counter to what the positioning we chose early on. Question 3. How do you choose your brand's positioning? There are 4 major steps in deciding what your positioning will be. So the first will be, you have to first define your target market. So this is not just demographics in terms of age, gender, but this is also about psychographics, their habits as well, how they think, where they want to go, what their dreams are, what their aspirations are, what their frustrations are. So the most important thing about choosing your target market is to make sure that this is sizable enough so that it will be profitable for your brand to go after this target market. Number 2, after choosing your target market, you have to understand what they need or what they really, really want. So by doing this, you also need to understand if there's anything about the specific product or service that you're offering that really, really frustrates them currently. And maybe that's something that you can focus on and beat your competitors on. Number 3, assess your capabilities. So by doing this, you have to know what you can really own. Can you really promise to deliver this better versus your competitors? Is this really ownable for you? You also, of course, have to scan your competition. So what is their positioning? Are they premium? Are they cheap? Are they distributed everywhere? Are they distributed in just a few stores? So these are things you have to assess. So the fourth important question is, how do you evaluate the positioning that you choose for your brand? So there are actually 8 key questions that you have to ask yourself. Number 1, is it focused, relevant, memorable, and motivating for your target market? Number 2, can your brand deliver it based on your capabilities? Number 3, is it believable and credible when your company or your brand delivers it? Kasi minsan, there's a positioning that we want to do, but it's actually not credible if we say we're doing it. Number 4, does it differentiate you versus your competitors? And does it give a clear picture of who you are versus your competitor? Number 5, is it difficult to copy? Can your brand own it? Number 6, is it sustainable? Is it something that can be delivered consistently across all points of contact with your consumer? Number 7, is it appropriate for all key markets? So this question is important in case you want to expand in the future. Number 8, does it help achieve your company's financial goals and boost the image of your company? Number 5, what is the biggest pitfall of brand positioning? For me, the biggest pitfall of brand positioning is really having a confused positioning. And this really happens when brand owners don't have the clarity of what their positioning is. And number 2, when they don't have the conviction or the courage to stay true to the positioning that they have chosen. Sometimes there are nice strategies or popular strategies based on current trends. But when you stay true to your positioning, consumers also see how focused your brand is. They have a very clear picture of who you are versus your competitors and what you and only you can deliver versus your competitors. For me, very, very important to have a clear brand positioning even for SMEs. Because alam naman natin, sobrang daming SMEs right now and we're really competing for a share of space in the minds of our consumers. They must have a very clear picture of who you are, or else you will just be one of the many brands competing for a certain product or a certain service. Thank you so much, and I really, really hope that you were able to learn something for brand positioning. As I said, it's super, super important for SMEs to have a very clear positioning of their brands, and I hope that you'll be able to use all the points that I've shared here with you. Thank you.